Welcome to the Wicked Bee of the West YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie Diana Eubank. The I am now a doctor of business administration and I teach over at Stan State. Um, so a question that I get asked a lot, particularly is regarding not just remote work, but being neurodivergent with ADHD and dyslexia. I get asked, how do you stay on task? Because let's face it, that is a key component everybody is concerned about with regards to those with neurodivergent disabilities like ADHD. But ADHD does come with hyperfocus, and you can't always click in your hyperfocus, but there are ways to help you stay on task. So, first and foremost, remote work for me personally, and from numerous others that I've talked to with similar diagnoses, have talked about remote work being just a godsend. Because let's face it, there's a lot less emotional masking. And what emotional masking is where you have to basically use a lot of emotional energy and do a lot of emotional labor to blend in with the community around you in the workplace. And there can be a lot of social norms and traditions and concepts that are harder for you to read with a neurodivergent disability. And that can create awkwardness and create a whole new pathways of things that you're replaying in your head, trying to see if you did something to screw up. So, working remote allows for you to just be your most authentic self because you're not having to do as much emotional labor to blend in. You are able to stand out and be your most authentic self and do that with less emotional labor. And let's face it, with ADHD and autism and other neurodivergent disabilities, there is a concept called spoon theory, which is the amount of energy you're having to expel into different tasks and how much that can drain you faster than the average neurotypical person. So, with this being said, neurodivergent people, we have to manage our energy properly. And with that, we have to remember key ideas on being able to stay on task. I personally set a lot of alarms and utilize a shared Google Calendar with my husband and I, where I put both my work appointments, my school appointments, my medical appointments, my kids' appointments. Everything is on there and shared with my husband. So that way we can both stay on task with what's going on in our day to day. And this helps us also be able to prioritize taking breaks. I know that many leaders think that employees need to be working for every single second of 8 hours within the day, but studies in productivity have shown for decades breaks are productive because basically it helps us shed the emotional stress from the previous task and be able to let it go and move on to the next task. This helps us prevent burnout and also helps so that you have a happier, healthier workforce. And when they're happier and healthier, they do better work. It's just statistically proven. Another thing, especially for those with ADHD, oftentimes we need to see wins. We have to complete a task and be able to see, oh, look, yay, we got it done, we got it done, we got it done. So that we build up our morale to get the next task met. This being said, I personally like crocheting because I can set a timer for 5 minutes just to take a mental break, take 5 minutes to, like right now, I'm crocheting a blanket, go all the way around the blanket square that I'm making and be able to see and watch it grow. And as such, being able to do that, I am literally watching my progress. Another good way is to have measurables within projects that you're working on where you can physically see the project growing and moving forward, such as having a project management dashboard, even if it's not applicable to the project you're working on. such as you may have a small project that you're working on within your team that you're the only one on it. So a project management dashboard isn't necessarily necessary for you. But again, having tools like that set up so that way you can measure how you're growing and how you're doing. That is just a great way to be able to benefit your ability to manage what you're doing. Also, making sure you're having proper morning rituals and daily rituals, such as first thing, get up and making your coffee, journaling, listening to music, having specific types of music you're listening to, whatever whatever helps you row your boat and gives you consistency and ritual. And again, constant timers and a really big tip, set any timers or alarms that say like your lunch bell that tells you nope, it's time to take your break, nope, it's time to come back from your break. Pick a tone that doesn't scare you and make you jump, because otherwise you're just giving yourself some anxiety that you're going to have to work through throughout the day, and that can just kind of throw a kink in your flow and not a fun one. And again, making sure you're making time for breaks and you're making sure that you are flexible about them, such as if you need to, you can move around your lunchtime where you can to be able to accommodate a meeting, just so that way you have some flexibility and it feels more like you're not being too rigid with yourself. There's also the concept of the Pomodoro personality, where you, rather than taking your 20-minute breaks, take smaller 5-minute breaks to do something, usually physical. And I recommend utilizing fidget toys, go and take a walk. Or I have my elliptical because of back injuries and ankle injuries. Um, those are great ways to help you reset your brain and boost your creativity. And again, helping you stay on task and keeping your morale up. Also, body doubling. Now, a great way to body double in remote work is to have a work friend that you can call on Teams or on Zoom and say, hey, cameras on, cameras off. Let's just sit and be in the same virtual room together. We don't have to talk if you're not up to talking, just so that there's another person there. I also find if you don't have somebody to body double with, and I know it sounds weird, turning on your TV or your radio or your MP3 player or your phone onto some music or onto the news is a great way to make it so that you don't feel like you're all by yourself when you're in remote work, and can help you keep your focus, because basically there's some white noise. I recommend doing that, especially with music or TV that you've seen a million times, something boring like the Discovery Channel, watch some history. Um, Again, the news, or music that you've heard a million times and can sing along with. These are great ways to be able to both keep you focused, and even though they sound distracting to a neurotypical person, they're just the thing you need to help you refocus yourself as a neurodivergent person in a remote workplace. And these are also great tools that even neurotypical people can utilize just to help stimulate creativity for themselves in the workplace, whether they're remote or in person. I hope you found all of this enlightening as far as how to address these concepts in the remote workplace and help with your own project management or time management and your productivity overall for those who are neurodivergent and watching this. And for those who aren't, that you learned something interesting today. Again, if you want more content or if you want to seek my consulting services, uh, like and subscribe, and my content has my contact info within it. And we have a brand new website too. So, as always, remember, remote work, it's here to stay.